If you're waiting to feel ready, you've already decided to stay stuck. What follows is not about motivation. It's about rewiring how you respond when you don't feel like doing anything. Most people don't struggle with goals. They struggle with the gap between intention and execution. That gap is where procrastination lives. Most of us aren't lazy, we just hesitate until our dreams die. And hesitation always sounds reasonable. I'll do it later. I just need to be in a better mood. I'm not in the right headspace. That's the lie. I don't wait for motivation. I create movement. I act first and clarity follows. My feelings do not get to vote on my actions. I am not controlled by how I feel at the moment. Discomfort is not a signal to stop. It is a signal to begin. I do not negotiate with hesitation. I move even when my mind resists. Action is my default setting, not my backup plan. I don't need perfect conditions to start. Starting is what creates the conditions. I trust structure over mood. My discipline is stronger than my impulses. I separate identity from emotion. What I feel is temporary. What I do defines me. I choose execution over evaluation. I stop thinking when thinking becomes avoidance. I recognize delay as disguised fear. I don't hide behind planning when it's time to act. I don't require confidence to begin. Confidence is built through repetition, not waiting. I am the type of person who follows through, even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when no one is watching. My standards stay the same regardless of how I feel. I don't reduce my life to what feels comfortable. I expand into what requires effort. Each time I act without motivation, I strengthen control over my behavior. I am training myself to respond, not react. I don't wait to become ready. I become ready by moving. I don't delay because of uncertainty. Uncertainty is where progress begins. I accept that discomfort is part of growth, and I choose growth repeatedly. I break the pattern of avoidance every time I take action immediately. My power is in initiation. I start tasks without overthinking. I finish what I start. I return to what I avoid until it no longer controls me. I no longer identify as someone who procrastinates. I identify as someone who executes. I don't wait for the right moment. I create the moment by starting now. I don't need to feel inspired to begin. Inspiration follows movement, not the other way around. I trust that once I take the first step, the next one reveals itself. I don't entertain thoughts that delay me. I observe them and move anyway. I'm bigger than the hesitation that tries to slow me down. My life responds to what I consistently do, not what I occasionally intend. I eliminate the habit of postponing simple actions. What can be done now gets done now. I stop turning small tasks into mental negotiations. I act quickly on what matters without overcomplicating it. I don't need a perfect plan to make progress. I refine direction through action, not endless thinking. I understand that clarity is built through execution, not contemplation. I choose repetition over randomness. I build discipline by showing up when it's inconvenient. I am reliable to myself. I keep my own commitments without needing external pressure. I remove the option of quitting early. I stay engaged until the task is complete. I don't let distraction dictate my attention. I bring my focus back immediately whenever it drifts. I recognize avoidance patterns early and interrupt them without hesitation. I'm aware of when I'm stalling and I correct it instantly. I no longer romanticize delay. I see it clearly for what it is, resistance, and I move through it. I don't wait to feel capable. I act, and capability grows through repetition. Every time I act without hesitation, I strengthen my identity as someone who follows through. Every completed action reinforces momentum. Every moment of execution weakens the habit of procrastination. I no longer debate with myself when it's time to begin. I begin. I don't need to feel confident to take action. Confidence is a byproduct of doing the work repeatedly. I accept that initial discomfort is temporary. I stay consistent long enough for that discomfort to lose its power. I stop resetting my progress by avoiding what's in front of me. I continue forward even when progress feels slow. I don't measure my progress by how I feel. I measure it by what I complete. I'm building a pattern of reliability, not convenience. I show up for the work regardless of mood, energy, or circumstances. I don't wait for motivation to arrive. I generate momentum through consistent execution. I'm becoming the kind of person who acts immediately, without delay. And that identity is reinforced every time I choose action over emotion. There's a shift that has to happen here. You are not someone trying to become disciplined. You are someone who either acts or doesn't. And every time you choose to act without waiting for the feeling, you reinforce a different identity. Not the one that depends on mood, the one that overrides it. When resistance shows up, I don't analyze it. I move. I shrink the task to its first step, and I begin immediately. No negotiation, no delay, no waiting for alignment. Momentum doesn't come from inspiration. It comes from the first move. I don't ask how I feel before starting. I start and my state adjusts. I don't build my life around comfort, I build it around execution. The gap between who I am and who I want to be is closed by what I repeatedly do when it's inconvenient. So I choose the action. Again, and again, and again. Not because I feel like it, because that's who I am becoming.